should have been the happiest day of the year, corn harvest day. A calm morning, a peaceful field. Or so we thought. Then it happened. They tore through the corn like living bulldozers, rows flattened, dirt flying, months of hard work shredded in minutes. And the worst part? Fresh tracks all over people's yards. This wasn't just a farm problem anymore. This was an invasion. We called an emergency meeting on the spot. Hog routes were circled in seconds. And a single clear decision was made: deploy the traps. Seal every exit. Not a single hog leaves. We protect the harvest. We protect the people. With the situation heating up, we traced every route the hogs used and marked it clean on the map. Immediately, the most advanced traps we had were deployed: remote drop cages, oversized round traps. Everything primed for a full capture. We split up, installing traps and hidden cameras at key choke points. This strategy is vital: minimal manpower, maximum safety for the team. Brothers, this is it, time for our harvest. Here are the first 2 round traps we set on the path from the forest to the cornfield. Just as predicted, the bait pulled the whole sounder deep into the trap. There they are, caught on camera. Boom. Full capture. A massive number in one clean drop. If we hunted them head on, catching this many would have been nearly impossible. On the other side, Kevin's trap was packed full too. He hit the remote. The gate dropped. The entire sounder was contained. One major threat to the village completely neutralized. We finally breathed easy. By afternoon, we refreshed bait at another trap near the forest edge, perfect spot to cut off their return route. As expected, not even 10 minutes later, a sounder walked right in. I hit the remote. A flawless drop. This capture mattered: another group removed, another safeguard for the harvest, another shield for the people. We shifted focus to the next trap nearby. Right on schedule, they were inside. This was one of our largest traps, placed specifically to collect big numbers. The moment the trigger fired, the gate slammed shut, hog after hog trapped with no way out. Another clean victory. Another massive blow against the destruction these invaders brought. next trap told a dramatic story. The hog sensed danger and bolted, trying to escape the bait zone. But it was too late. The trap dropped at the perfect second. Those steel bars caged them in, no escape, no second chances. Smart trapping. Clean success. One more win for the team. We move to the final steel cage. Click. One tap on the controller, and the gate came down. A full capture, not a single hog slipping through. We collected the traps and counted the results, far beyond expectations. We saved the harvest. We protected the community. And every action followed U.S. regulations on invasive species control. No gunfire. No dangerous chases. Just strategy, technology, and perfect teamwork. A clean day's work, efficient, lawful, and something we're proud of. Thanks for riding along with us. Which trap do you think performed the best? Drop your thoughts. We hunters always appreciate your input.
Clean up the trap.
Once these tracks appear, peace across the countryside comes to an end. With their explosive breeding, they don't just tear through crops and cause heavy economic losses, they carry deadly diseases that threaten both livestock and humans. That's why keeping wild boar populations in check isn't optional. It's the only way to prevent an environmental disaster and protect the community. Take a look at my family's cornfield. Honestly, it's hard to believe your own eyes. Just as the harvester reached the last rows, a whole squad of wild boars came rushing out like a swarm of bees gone mad. According to U.S. agricultural stats, this invasive species causes up to $2.5 billion in damages every year. A herd of 15 to 20 can wipe out 20 to 40% of a field in just minutes. All the hard work, all the money we poured in, it feels like it's gone down the drain. This is exactly why we call wild boars the most dangerous invasive species. If their breeding spree isn't controlled, next year's harvest is sure to be a total loss. But the nightmare doesn't stop in the fields. Just look at my backyard. Yesterday it was a lush green lawn. Today it's been ripped apart as if a plow had gone through. This is a serious public safety alarm. A full-grown wild boar can charge at speeds up to 50 km/h, with tusks sharp as knives. Imagine kids playing here in the evening, and one of these furious boars shows up. What could happen? By now, we knew we couldn't just sit back. It was time to act and protect the peace of our village. We decided to build a trap ourselves. And pay attention, this isn't a square pen. We designed it as a circle. Why? Because wild boars are both strong and smart. If you build corners, they'll push into the dead spot. use it as leverage, and either break the fence or injure themselves. A circular design forces their impact to slide along the mesh, neutralizing their ability to break out. On top of that, we used Titan-style steel mesh instead of a rigid frame. It can withstand the full force of a 200, 300 kilograms herd slamming into it, while also preventing the animals from breaking their legs or getting injured when they panic. For herds this large and cunning, traditional handmade traps just aren't enough. That's why we moved to a modern drop cage system. Instead of using a manual trigger rope, the setup uses real-time imaging sensors that send a live feed over 4G straight to my phone. When I hit the remote trigger, an electromagnetic latch at the top releases instantly. Gravity does the rest, dropping the cage in a split second. The mesh frame lands softly but securely, capturing the entire herd without the injuries caused by old-style neck snares. Why catch all of them at once? It's the principle of whole sounder removal. If even a few escape, they'll learn to avoid traps, become incredibly wary, and pass that knowledge to the next generation, making future control nearly impossible. This method stops their population from exploding while still maintaining humane standards. All the planning and hard work finally paid off. In many U.S. states, the law allows year-round wild boar control but strongly encourages humane methods. That's why we chose a drop cage trap instead of hunting. If we used firearms, the herd would panic, the wounded would suffer long, painful injuries, and any scattered piglets would likely starve. With this method, a single push of a button captures the entire herd without causing physical harm. It's not only the most effective solution, it's the one that complies with the law while truly solving the problem at its root. Take a look at the timestamp on the camera, past 4 p.m. Normally, wild boars are nocturnal feeders, most active between 7 p.m. and 3 a.m. The fact that they're out this early shows just how fierce the competition for food has become. The herd density in this area is so high that they're starving and more desperate than ever, breaking their usual night feeding habits. When they were fully locked in and feeding without caution, I triggered the latch. The entire sounder was secured safely, removing a major daytime threat for farmers working out in the fields. "6 feet 30 inches good news kept coming. Right after the waterhole trap snapped shut, just 10 minutes later, my brother Blake reported that he'd caught another group on the far side of the field. We're building a community trap network where everyone shares information on herd movements and coordinates actions. Looking at the number of boars crammed into that cage, it's clear that if even a few escape, the destruction would be unimaginable. Beyond trapping, we also implement long-term preventive measures, installing agricultural electric fences, digging anti-intrusion trenches, and never leaving leftover food in the yard to cut off their food sources. The battle to protect our land is never truly over. Today the fields are clear, but tomorrow their tracks could appear right at our doorstep. But we're always here, standing guard to keep the community safe, so kids can run and play without fear. Today, my family headed back to our hometown to visit my grandmother. Reuniting with loved ones should have filled me with joy, but instead, I was met with shock. The boars from the forest have multiplied out of control. They've surged into the village, destroying pens, farms, and fields, spreading fear among everyone. Seeing the urgency, our team immediately mobilized every resource. This is a battle for the community. For safety reasons, our hunt will be gun-free, relying entirely on our trapping skills. Don't take your eyes off the screen. What happens next is intense. To optimize our trap placement, we swiftly installed hidden cameras around tree trunks. This monitoring system allowed us to pinpoint the boars' routes and the perfect spots to set traps. Traps were deployed efficiently and strategically. We focused on large cage traps and rope traps along the predicted paths, places where the boars frequently move between the forest and the village. Every trap was carefully camouflaged near the hidden cameras, ensuring we could monitor and trigger them precisely, maximizing capture success. Now, let's move in and collect the spoils from the traps. As night fell, the boars returned to their usual habit of raiding the village, and that's when they walked right into our traps. The first trap, on the west side, was triggered. From the hidden camera, I saw enough boars to make the capture worthwhile. On the other side, Jack's cage trap, baited with his signature lure, also successfully drew in a group of boars. We quickly shifted attention to another camera covering a key trap along the main route into the village. This large trap successfully lured a massive herd. The moment was right. I triggered the trap remotely, capturing the boars completely. This victory was invaluable, removing one of the biggest threats to the farms and villagers' livelihoods. Minutes later, another camera signaled activity. A herd had been drawn into yet another trap. Once the boars settled inside, the cage door slammed shut. They struggled to escape, but every route was blocked. This sturdy trap added another win to our tally, confirming the effectiveness of our nighttime trapping strategy.